Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sweetie Nail Supply YouTube channel. We're happy to have you here today because we're going to be taking a look at the new Red Fever collection by Rozyhip. In this video, we're going to swatch the entire collection and then we'll do a easy to follow nail art tutorial. So let's go ahead and jump right into the swatches. The Red Fever collection has 8 shades in total, so we're going to have 4 warm tone reds and then 4 cool tone reds, which is going to make it easy for you to find the perfect red for your skin tone or personal style. And of course, if a shade is warm or cool, we're going to indicate that in the upper right hand corner of the screen for you. These syrup gels glide effortlessly onto the nail and apply smoothly, and they're also buildable. So you can apply 1 coat of this for a sheer wash of color, or you can add additional coats to build up the opacity to your preference. Since these gels are buildable, you can mix and match colors together, so don't be afraid to use multiple red shades in the collection with one another. We're actually going to be mixing and matching some of the shades in the nail tutorial, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Alright, so let's take a look at the swatch card. As you can see here, the Red Fever collection has different options to choose from. So whether you're looking for something dark like a burgundy or something on the lighter side, it is definitely here for you. So let us know in the comments which shade in the collection is your favorite. But now that you've seen the swatches side by side, it's time for the nail art tutorial. To get started with our nail tutorial, we're going to be taking the lightest shade in the entire collection, which is RS04, and applying 1 thin layer of this. Once the first coat has been applied, we are going to cure this and then go in with a second layer of the exact same color, but this time, instead of curing once we're done applying it, we are going to be leaving it wet so that we can do a marble type design. Next, we're placing a little bit of RS08 onto a glass palette and picking it up with the Diami cone tool because we're only going to be placing a little bit of this color onto the nail. Then we're going to start off making small circular shapes and placing the circles in random parts of the nail. This basically creates a blooming effect without having to use additional products. But as we apply this, we are using gentle pressure and making sure not to press down too hard because we don't want to disturb the blooming effect that's happening as we continue to work on the rest of the nail. This is what the nail will look like once we're done, but we're still not going to cure because we want to add a little bit more depth to what we have here. To do this, we're using a black painting gel and the Sweetie Liner No. 1 brush and just getting a teeny amount of product right at the tip of the brush. Then we're going to move the brush very slowly across the nail, creating small lines, similar to how you would see cracks in a marble slab, for example. If there are areas that the black may seem too harsh, we're going to go back in with the Diami cone tool and slightly blend the black so that we have softer looking lines once everything has bloomed out and self-leveled. Here is what the nail looks like at this point, and finally it's time to cure it. This design will have some isolated chrome elements, so using the Diami Mango Buffer, we are going to create a matte surface by buffing the nail. This is going to prevent the chrome that we will be using in the next steps from sticking to areas that we really don't want it to. Next, we're taking that same painting gel we used earlier and creating an arch that goes from one side of the nail to the other. However, the arch is not going to be perfectly curved. We're going to make this abstract. So you'll notice here that the brush is making short strokes and small movements. So we have a little bit more control over the brush. We're able to curve it and make little pockets for the gold chrome to go on top of. Once the line is complete, it will look something just like this. So we're going to pop this in a lamp to cure. Now it's time to apply some chrome. We're using this one here from Nail Bio and taking the applicator sponge that comes with it. We'll be using the smaller side of the applicator sponge, making sure to leave the bigger side clean because once we're done applying the chrome on top of the black painting gel, we're going to flip the applicator sponge to the other side and use that to clean off the excess chrome. Since we did buff the nail before doing our isolated chrome design, the excess chrome will easily glide right off the nail. This design is going to be the base for our entire set, so we're going to repeat the exact same steps for the rest of the nails. We're not done with our set just yet. We're going to do something a little special for the middle finger. We're going to be grabbing the Yoga Milk Jam because we'll be creating 3D flowers. We're going to roll this out into a cylinder shape so it looks a little bit like a worm, but don't worry, it's not going to stay this way. We're going to break it apart into 6 small pieces. We'll save the excess pieces for later just in case we need them, but the pieces we know we'll use, we're going to roll them into a ball. And we're going to end up having 2 flowers on the nail. Each flower will have 3 petals because it'll sit towards the edge of the nail. To pick each of our balls up, we will be using the Diami cone tool. We're getting started by laying the first ball right at the tip of the nail. Then we're going to take the cone tool and pull upwards, then pull downwards. And we'll mold the tips of the flowers a little bit by pressing inwards to create a V. And you'll start to see a petal come to life. The second ball is going to go right underneath the first, and we're going to repeat the same process. So laying down the second ball, putting the cone tool right in the center, pulling upwards, then pulling downwards, and then molding the tips a little bit. And lastly, our third ball is now going to go in between the top and bottom petals, but this time we're making sure the third petal comes all the way to the center so all 3 petals meet at a common point. The 3D flower is on the nail, but we don't want it to move because we will be adding a second flower. So to freeze everything in place, we'll be taking the D-Gel light stick and flash curing. Once the first flower is flash cured, we're going to start working on the second flower, but this time we will be placing it on the bottom left-hand side of the nail, but the steps will be the exact same. This flower needs a little bit more color, so we're going to be taking a deep red, but this time we're going to use gentle patting motions. To slightly blend the color a little bit more, we're taking the Sweetie oval long brush and gently patting at the color so it blends nicely. Then once we're satisfied with how everything is looking, we are going to flash cure once again with the D-Gel light stick. We're going to add 3 small caviar beads to the center of each flower, first laying down the IV Fix Gel so the caviar beads stay in place. And then we're going to finish up by sealing everything in with a glossy top gel and of course curing it once we're done. And that's a wrap. We had so much fun using the Red Fever collection and we are certain that you guys will too. We cannot wait for you to get your hands on this collection, so be sure to tag us in your hauls and creations. All the products used will be linked in the description box down below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel because we wouldn't want you to miss the next one.